listening to NFTeaseMe with Mikey Aveline, the show where I interview successful entrepreneurs, artist creators, and thought leaders pioneering the world of NFTs. My guest today is Twerky. So Twerky is an NFT artist. He's hugely popular across the US and Asia. And he creates Twerkies, which are self-named NFT art pieces that can sort of be described as a mix of animated cartoon characters, notable figures, or cultural events, basically twerking with bubble butts. Now, Twerky has already made a name for himself in the NFT space. He's sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of his Twerky pieces, despite having only created his first NFT 8 months ago. So we're going to talk to him about his journey into crypto art, the crypto art scene in general, and how you too can jump on the bandwagon and get into the NFT space and create your very own NFT art. Welcome to the show, Twerky.
Hi, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm excited to chat to you today. I'm a great fan of your work. I absolutely love there's a twerking Lil Nas X one that you released recently. It's so funny.
I'm glad you like it.
Tell us a bit about yourself. How did you first get into NFTs?
So basically on November last year, my boss from my current job, he says like, hey, do you know about NFTs? And I was like, no, I have no idea. And yeah, he basically says like, hey, like, look at this platform. He showed me Reddable, and he was like, you should take a look at this because I think this is going to explode in a couple of months. And I was like, really? Like, okay, well, let's see. So I took some time to kind of look around, to the community and see what people were posting. And then I immediately, back in the day when I was young, because right now I'm still young, but not that young, I was doing digital collages and put them on DeviantArt, which is another art website. I was like, you know what, maybe right now with the whole pandemic going on, maybe I can use this time to do something, that is for me, something that chills me, that gives my creativity up and everything. I was like, I'm gonna continue doing the collages that I did back in the day and put them here. And that kind of helped me to understand how the NFTs work, how the contracts work, how much it cost also to mint and everything. So I set up everything. I got some Ethereum and I was like, I'm going to put up some stuff and, just blow it. And nothing happened. So basically, I didn't sell anything. And I was like, well, okay, so it seems like you need to be an artist with some background before, and then just bring your work into the NFT world. That was my idea. And I was like, well, fair enough. There's a lot of independent artists that they need a chance. And I think this is the right market for them to actually make some coin and get royalties out of it. So instead of, say, okay, this is not for me, I kind of stay with the community, and I got I got invited to a couple of Telegram groups with very nice people, and just, discussing projects and everything. And from there, yeah, all of a sudden, as I told you, we were talking, having fun, and all of a sudden the whole twerking thing happened. I got inspired, and yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So there's a big community of you guys then on groups like Telegram, Discord, I'm guessing.
Yeah. There are Twitter, Discord, and Telegram mainly. Everything happens so fast that it kind of feels like it has been years ago, right? But it's basically all of this started, at least my collection started on January.
Your year 2020 to 2021 has just been not a year you could have ever predicted. I mean, we had the pandemic, you became a really successful NFT crypto artist. You literally couldn't have thought of it ever. But how has your life changed since you got into NFTs?
A lot.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I can just say that a lot. So it's very interesting because, I made this out of fun. My collection, it came out of fun. It never came with an idea, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to I have a business plan and everything, it came very organically. But I cannot, now that I'm, more people start trusting in my project and start buying some of my NFTs, I was forced myself to make some extra time to say, okay, this is serious. I need to make a business plan. I need to make a plan. I need to see where the collection is going. How is it gonna, you know, go? Understanding blockchain and contracts and everything. So it changed a lot in the way that I met. All of a sudden, I met a lot of people, and I have a couple of issues sometimes, having contact with people in real life. But in this case, it's different because it's kind of like you're meeting people that you have something in common, and we are all building something. So that makes it very exciting. So between that, making a business also, which is a reality, an NFT collection, it's a business. It's a hobby, but right now it's a business. So that, and then finding a way of how to pay your taxes for that, and then when you leave, the country doesn't know how to handle this. So it has been very interesting. It's a lot of try and error.
Yeah, it's kind of untapped territory at the moment because you're talking about taxes and starting your own business. This is all so new that it's kind of like there are no base points to actually get your information from. You just have to dive in and just learn as you go along. Anyone who is listening to this podcast episode won't be able to actually see what twerkies look like. So in your own words, can you describe what twerkies are? Because I tried to give sort of a little overview at the beginning. I said they're like cartoon characters or like notable figures or cultures, and basically they're just twerking with bubble butts. That's kind of my whole analogy of it.
So basically, Twerky is a frog that is twerking. That's what Twerky is. The reason why this became also my signature, and it's also something very interesting because it's something that I basically recently realized, while I was talking with my husband, is to me, what I think most people like about it, and it's also something that I cherish a lot, is that when you feel more confident with yourself and you're having a good time, not giving fuck. I'm not sure if I can use that word, but if you cannot give FAUCK.
Oh my God, anything, you can use it.
Okay, if you don't give a fuck. if you don't give, I'm not sure if there are kids around. I don't know. They probably see a frog and like,
this won't be like for kids on YouTube. It's fine.
Okay. So if you're comfortable with yourself and you don't give a fuck about anything, you're having a good time, you start dancing like if nobody's watching, right? And some of the first moves, or at least I do, is just basically start twerking, even if I suck at it. But that's what I think makes the most special about this frog, right? That it's cute, it's a baby frog, and it's just having a good time. And
I love that your first dance move on the dance floor is twerking.
That's what I do. Awesome. It's my Latino vibes, girl. I don't know. It's the first thing that I do. But I'm really bad at it. But at least that's what I do. It's like I feel like the move and everything is what make it a little bit funny to some other people. But I feel like when we do it's because we're owning ourselves, right? And we're like so comfortable. I don't give a shit. I'm just doing something for fun. Probably that's what you do. Probably that's what you move. I don't know. Twerky does it. I do it. Basically, what I do is then I take this character that I create, and then I start putting elements around of pop culture or trading culture or crypto culture. Like I have one with, for example, Elon Musk. I have one with Pranksy, which was one of my first big collaborations. I have, for example, every time Bitcoin reach a new record, I basically make a special edition of Twerky with some Bitcoin related stuff. So I try to use this character, and it's a meme somehow. So some people call it meta meme. So what I do is I try to use it as a way for people to have a memory of an event that happened when it got dropped, right? It's also kind of like a way to record a couple of the events that we as a community experience.
And for all our listeners and viewers, Twerky and NFTeaseMe have actually collaborated on the episode artwork for
Yes, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, for this episode. If you're interested in collecting NFTs, why not start with this podcast? This week's episode cover is brought to you by none other than my guest and NFT artist, Twerky, and available as one of 10 NFT collectibles for Series 1 of this podcast. Each collector receives a future access token to NFTeaseMe, from live events to meet and greets and deeper access into the minds of my guests. Check out NFTeaseMe on OpenSea and Rarible. Now back to the show. Do you create physical art pieces as well, or is it just NFTs?
No, everything digital. Everything has been digital. I'm very proud to say that I'm probably one of the few artists that has been shaped themselves in the NFT world. You know, so that's also something very interesting, because other artists, they have experience or some background before NFTs. But it's not my case. So I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm actually still trying to find my own style, to be completely honest. And that make it good in a way that people can see it. And there's, thanks to blockchain, they can see how everything evolves from the first one to the last one. But it's also challenging, right? Because it's like, I don't know where I'm going, if I'm doing good or not. But it has been very fascinating, this journey so far.
You're doing good, Twerky. You're doing good.
Thank you.
You were talking about smart contracts and the blockchain. Can you sort of walk me through how you actually go about creating an NFT? Because there are going to be listeners or viewers, depending what platform they're on, wondering, if I want to be a crypto artist, how do I go about it?
Got it. So the first thing, talking from my point of view and experience, is that there are a lot of platforms, right? And the way that I categorize those platforms are the ones that you need an invite to be part of it, and another ones that are open. The ones that you need an invite to be part of it, that's the ones that I call them bougie. I'm not sure if it's the right term, but I call them like that. Please don't cancel me for that. But to me,
no, they are bougie platforms if you need an invite.
And there's a reason behind, right? Because they want to kind of filter. That's what they say, or curate a couple of NFTs. So for those, I think the most challenging thing is that you need to have a background as a previous artist, and then apply for them, and then they invite you. And the other ones is like Rarible and OpenSea, where basically everyone can upload any NFT. There are a couple of more from other blockchains, but I would say the most mainstream ones are these ones. And from there, basically, depending the path that you choose, there's a couple of things that you have to take in consideration. For example, all of them, they're going to charge you a fee, right? For every time you mint/upload something, to also a fee every time someone buys one of those NFTs, because they need a percentage for the platform and everything that they put together. And of course, also royalties for the secondary markets, which is something really amazing about the blockchain. There is the first time that artists can actually get a percentage of all of those secondary market sales. It's just, depending on what type of art you make, also if it's going to be art or if it's going to be a collectible, that's going to tell you where exactly is the platform that you need for. My recommendation is always ask to artists that before they decide to upload/mint something anywhere, they have to put together exactly what do they want to do and how much money they want to invest, because you need to pay to have a space in any of these platforms a little bit, right? Is what they call the gas fee and everything for transactions and all of this stuff. So yeah, that's basically it. Depending on what do you want to put out and how much money you have, there you go. There's something for every type of budget, that's for sure.
Wow, you gave like so much info there. It was really, really interesting. So let's list then, which are the more exclusive invite only platforms? Which would they be?
Oh, I would say probably Super Rare. That one you need to apply, I think, even with a video explaining your work. As far as I know, that's one of the processes that is kind of the most challenging ones. And sometimes you don't even know when are you going to be contacted. So it's kind of like to be lucky. There's another one like Nifty Getaway, but that one has a lot of big names also. But as far as I know, with Nifty, it's more like you schedule a drop with them, and then they help you to promote it inside of the platform, and it gets into their contract. It's not like you can upload something whenever you want, as far as I know. And
Okay.
there's another one called Don't Buy Me, which is kind of the same model as Nifty, but it's more it's just another target, another type of art, basically. And then there's Foundation, which is the one that it's getting more and more popular, mainly because to be part of this community, you need to get an invite by another artist. Now, I don't know how you get one of those invites. I was invited by my friend, the Neon Cat creator, Chris. But as far as I know, I think once you upload something and sell something there, I think you get a couple of invites, as far as I know. And in that platform, you can upload uh, whenever you want, basically. But that one is not direct sales; it's all auctions. So yeah, there are a lot of type of ways to sell NFTs nowadays. It's we can spend hours and hours talking about all of them, but this is more or less a little bit of what is each one.
And I think I know two others, Known Origin and Maker's Place. Are
Yes,
they
yes,
are they invite only ones, or can
yes.
anyone
As far
upload
as I
their
know,
artwork?
yes, yes, yes. I have applied to all of them, and they have not accepted me.
They haven't got back to you, Twerky.
No, the only one is just Foundation because of my friend Chris, the Neon Cat creator. But there's I have a drop on May with Don't Buy Meme, which has this beautiful icon with the pineapples on May. But the other ones, I think I have. Uh, it's probably not my twerk is probably not what the target that they have, like these they mainly, for what I've seen, they mainly focus in 3D artists, that they make these beautiful stunning renders, and I understand, I'm not like a press or something like that. Like, I understand, like, you cannot have presence everywhere, that's a fact, because there are different targets for every type of collector.
I heard that not actually all crypto art is based on chain or on blockchain. If it's not based on blockchain, where is it?
It's usually in a private server that, you know whoever platform has, and basically what they do is that they connect the URL of this art and connect it to a contract. So that's when they say it's not on chain, because the media file is not inside of the contract, because it's not possible, but it's connected to something exterior of that. And if it will be the other way, like, for example, if you will be able to take this media and put it in different code lines, just codes and stuff like that, that it can be translated to the original media, then you can put them in the contract. Again, this is something that I know, that I more or less, for what I'm talking with people, this is the way that it is. I'm not really sure if you can actually put direct media in the contracts yet, but as far as I know, at least in layer one, not really. But this is different between be on chain or not.
Okay, so like you can have third party websites that you mint your NFTs to, which are actually hosting your NFT art, but it's not on the blockchain because it doesn't have code. And to put code in, you need to be an IT developer or something.
Yeah, you need to have access to the code contract to put them in everything inside. As far as I know, and it's just probably the only thing that I know. Only CryptoPunks. I'm not sure if CryptoPunks does it. I think they do on chain, and the art blocks, because art blocks is basically a collection of different NFTs that they're made with pure code. So it's basically to translate everything and just put it there.
I suppose that's what I was going to ask. Would it affect the value of a piece of work if it was on blockchain or if it was being hosted by a third party site like Rarible or OpenSea?
Yeah, I mean, generally, I would say no. But this whole idea that, for example, imagine that Rarible one day disappear, right? Then we're only gonna have the contracts, but the art, it's gone, right? So this is something that for some people means uh, that there's not enough security on the money that they're invested in. So they really care to mainly focus on projects where you can guarantee that the art is going to be living on the blockchain. But again, it really depends on the type of collector. I don't think it plays a big role, but it's something that for sure some OGs take it very serious.
Okay, awesome. How would you describe value then? Like, what would make a piece of NFT art valuable? Because you were saying that artists 1 week are selling like something for one ETH each, and
Yeah,
then all of a sudden nothing. Is
yeah.
there a way that artists and investors themselves can work out if something is valuable or not?
Yeah. So at least on my point of view, the way that I've seen it is artists that have a background in another platform before NFT, for example, Instagram, or they have, made a couple of exhibitions in other places and stuff like that. They kind of, I think there are some collectors that they take this information in order to hype their debut in the NFT world. However, I have also seen cases of some of these that they fail because I mean, you cannot just come put art and people expect to know you, right? Like it's a different target group. Um, you can see it, for example, in the case of some of the celebrities that they have been trying to put NFTs. Some of them, because they're businessmen, they're able to sell really well. But they what they put out there is sometimes just a picture of them. So it's like, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
um,
is this artwork or
yeah,
yeah?
but the value of who is the person for some collectors, it's very important. Especially you have to take in consideration. Well, we have to take in consideration that most of the collectors here, they're also people that have experience trading with cryptocurrencies and other currencies. So for them, it's very important who's behind, and yes, also the art and the aesthetics and stuff like that. But I would say they see it more in a business way, and it's nothing wrong about that, right? But it's not like other people that they can say, okay, I really like this piece of art for what it is. um for what I've seen, is not the case. Sometimes it's also about who you are, who you have collaborated with, and if you and your story, that also matters. Actually, that's actually a really good point. It also matters when people start when I start having contact with some of my collectors, and I tell them where I'm come from and everything. They kind of feel engaged with it. They like it. It was like, oh, you're an immigrant. Oh, I'm also an immigrant. I like you, and that kind of create a bond. And some of them, they collect my Twerkies based on that. So
Mm.
there are a lot of factors. I cannot say what is working or not. You kind of have to be part of the community to basically see what's popping and to see like, oh, this is going in this direction. Maybe I should do something like that, or maybe just look because yeah.
Can you take us through the process of how you'd actually create an NFT? Like, how do you go about it? What programs do you use?
Got it. So in my case, a lot of people start by sketching, basically with a pencil or in the iPad or something like that, and then they take it to the computer and then they start basically doing the vector or whatever is needed basically to the final product, visual final product of the NFT. In my case, I do everything directly on vectors in a software called Figma. That is a software that I use in my real life job to make interfaces, websites and apps. So it's very a little bit weird because a lot of people will say like, "Oh, why you're not using Illustrator or Photoshop?" But yeah, I use something that I use also in my work. So that's a
But
little
if
bit
that works
different.
for you, it
Yeah, it
works.
works for me. I really like everything that can be, made out of shapes and that you can have full access then to put it to code. So that's what I mainly do. So anyway, so you make the visual stuff in Figma or whatever software you're using, and then if needed, you can use another platform to retouch it in case that you want to animate it or something like that. It really depends on what is your the skill that you want that you use, right? Once you have all of this, you export it, and then basically you go to any of the platforms. Okay, so there's two ways. Either way, you use a platform, one of the platforms that we kind of talked already, or you can do it in the rough way, which is put it directly in the code. For that one, if you are a developer, you're gonna have it easy, right? Because then you know how to code and how to do all of this stuff. I'm not. I need a platform that help me do all of this. In this case, I use mainly Rarible, and I like that Rarible gives you the opportunity to buy your own contract in a very easy step without making any code. So I bought my own contract, And then I basically upload as I am uploading any other NFT, but instead of going to the full contract, I choose my own contract, put a title, a description, the number of copies, the percentage of royalties that I want to get. That is usually around 10%. Some people use 15, some other people use 20%, but I wanted to keep it at 10% because I think it's a standard. And then you click mint or create, and then basically your wallet is going to open and they're going to charge you for the gas, the infamous gas that is always so random. Like it's more random than me, to be honest. Sometimes it can be $10, sometimes it can be $200, right? Depends on a lot of factors of Ethereum.
And just like to like simplify it, what are the gas fees? Why are they there?
So basically, every time that you put something on the blockchain, it goes. So blockchain is how can I say it? It's a series of computers, right? And all of these computers needs to validate this action, and that requires a price because this server will need energy, and it's also dependent on how many transactions are there and everything. That's why the prices go all over the place. It's like, for example, when it's a rainy day in London, and we know that, right?
Always.
And you want to take an Uber, and the Uber is going to be more expensive when it's raining because there's a high demand. It's the same with gas. When there's a lot of transactions going on, but there's not enough servers, making these transactions as fast as possible, it's going to be more expensive. Also, the value of Ethereum changes up and down all the time, so that's also a big factor. And then something very interesting that happens on blockchain is that then you can accelerate the gas. You can pay the lowest, the medium, or the fast one, or you can add up more gas to guarantee that you're actually going to have it faster. And this is very important because I remember there was a time that I released a couple of NFTs that there were only 10 available. And I remember at that time I have like 200 people looking to buy them, and the gas was very high. So a lot of people pay the value of this NFT plus the gas. And basically the first one that reach I don't know how to say it, the blockchain process, they will able to buy it. The other people will get their money back, but they will lose the money of the gas. And that's a problem right now in Ethereum blockchain, that a lot of people just lose money trying to buy something because it's not a guarantee. So what happened is, like, there's a really rich guy in the Middle East that really like my Twerkies that he put for each transaction 1 Ethereum on gas only.
Wow.
So and he get like 5. So only on gas he spent 5 Ethereum out of an NFT that the price was 0.1. He really want them. And what happened is, like, because he had the coin, he bought all of this first. But the other people at the end, they found out that they lost money on gas. So that's the controversial thing about gas. That is
so people
expensive.
are bidding, but not necessarily getting the piece of artwork, but still having to pay the gas fees for it.
Exactly.
So it's like fighting over your Uber, paying for the Uber, and then there's a whole crowd of you at the end, and only one person gets the Uber. I like that analogy.
Basically, in this case, is the person who said to the Uber, "Okay, I'm going to pay you more. Come here first." And then you lose the transaction, and you still don't get your Uber. It's kind of the same thing. But there's this new approach that Ethereum is doing called Layer 2, which there are a couple of projects already running on Matic Layer 2. With Matic is a network. It's a little bit too tricky. But this, I made actually a project with a Japanese company called Doki Doki, which is running Ethereum Layer 2. And that one, there's no gas. It's very fair. Very, very fair. So that's going to be the future. But at least now, basically, the one who's able to pay more gas is probably the guy who's going to be able to buy some NFTs with high demand.
So that's one of the more undemocratic sides or unfair sides of the NFT world. But on the other hand, like, NFTs are really democratizing the arts, I think. It's giving opportunities to basically make a living through your art, whether it's media or artwork. And that kind of notion of starving artists is, slowly disappearing, which is Great, like absolutely great. What are though one of the misconceptions of being an NFT artist though? Like what is the more dark side of being in the industry?
Ooh.
Oh,
That's a good one. That's gonna be some
spill
good
the
tea
tea.
here. So I think it happens like at the beginning. I thought what I'm about to tell you is something that happens only in the NFT world, but the reality is that I think it happens in every art market. That the more I have talked with friends, it seems like it's a very common thing, and it's one that there's a lot of influenced by a lot of rich people, right? Which, in order for them to get something special or unique, they come to some artists, especially new ones, and kind of say like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you this if you give me all of this." And because these new NFT artists, they're so excited, they basically give away work for free in order for exposure and stuff like that, without understanding that they are giving a lot of pieces of art that at some point is going to be very expensive. So that's something that it's very um common. It was to be very common. A lot of the artists of us, every time there's a new guy, we are always telling them, do not give your work for free to anyone. Always put a value on it, because also something that it's that you have to face once you become an NFT artist is that you have to be ready for business. It's more aggressive and it's more into your face than on any other business, because it's direct contact with clients in real life, and also using a currency that is always going up and up and up and up and up, so there's a lot of pressure of people. um,
Mhm.
so that's probably one thing. I'm not sure if it's dark, but it's something that for sure I was not ready. I was just thinking, "La, I'm gonna do my turkeys and put them out," and all of the sudden I have to learn about marketing that I more or less know, but kind of focus on that, community building, which is very important, business, taxes, all this stuff. Like it can be very easily overwhelmed,
Mm.
for how everything goes. Also, the trends come very fast. Like you are, blowing in one week, the next week people don't buy you, and I think sometimes it's very difficult for us to understand that this is something very new, right? And people are just excited, and that's why this happens. But it doesn't mean that your work doesn't have any value. But when it's just something that for what I talk with some friend collectors, they struggle a little bit with their mental health in this case, right? Like one week you're selling a lot and the next one nothing. For some of us, it can play, dark stuff and depression and everything. And that's the other thing about NFT art, that it's very competitive for all the money that there's around, that getting attention sometimes is just impossible. So we just need to, step back and, do what we do the best. And yeah, it's just
And I
sometimes
suppose,
difficult.
like you said, you've got such a strong, close knit community as well that all the artists are there to support one another. I suppose through those mental health struggles, or is there not any of that?
Um, so for all the artists that I have tried to have contact with, they have been very open about their experiences, and talk about this. But something that I found out is that once we go to Twitter, most of us we don't even talk about it. We kind of, I think we are kind of so worried to give an impression that everything is okay, in order to continue feel like, oh, we're killing it and everything. But we don't take our time to say, okay, this is not okay. I have no sleep in a couple of hours, or a couple of days. Like I'm so worried because of this, that I think if we will be more honest with ourselves, it would be better, not only for ourselves but for the next NFT artists that they're joining, because some of them, they come and they just get this happy face, right? Like, oh, I'm selling 10 Ethereum in 1 minute, I'm killing it. And that might be a little bit misperception for them, because at the end, see it this way: it's like if you're in the stock market and you are Disney and you have the fiasco that it happened with Mulan. At the end, you don't want to focus on that, but you want to focus on how great everything is going. It's kind of the same here, right? Because you are basically putting together trading with art. and you kind of have to sell it like, oh, I'm doing good and everything, and I'm killing it. I'm having this collaboration with this big artist. I cannot mention it, but I'm killing it. And sometimes it's not true. Sometimes stuff doesn't happen as fast as we are used to, and it's just a little bit complicated. Let's keep it like that. But I think we are all learning from each other, and kind of think probably now that it's gonna getting warmer and warmer, people is gonna take more time to go out and chill.
Finally, my last question, thank you so much, Twerky, is what advice would you give to people listening to this podcast or watching who want to become NFT artists? If you were starting today from day one.
Okay, first of all, welcome to the NFT world. If you're listening this, I'm pretty sure you're already deciding to come in, which is a very exciting community to be part of it, to be completely honest. You basically have to be sure to define exactly how much money you want to put in, like your budget, because you need some coin to put your first work outside. That's everywhere. That's a fact. Understanding how the royalties work. Again, I can tell you, for what I've told you already, you more or less kind of have an idea, but it's something that you can only experience once you put out your first NFT. You can see the percentage and everything over there. That's very important. And the second one is be patient, and that this is not a race. It's not the race to see who sells the most. It's just a new art platform, and there's space for everyone, right? There's people that they like to say, oh, I have high art and everything. Something that I'm not really big fan of it, because I do think there's taste for everyone. So just be sure to put something that you feel be very proud of it, and not really something that you feel it's selling, because then you at the end are gonna end not really very happy, and probably not really liking NFTs. So basically that. Learn how to pay your taxes too. This is so important. I have talked with a lot of collectors. They don't know how to do it, because it's a new thing, and their countries where they're located, there's no attorneys. It's not attorneys. What is this called? Accountants? Is that the word? Like the people
Lawyers?
who, the people who
Accountants. Yeah.
Accountants, yeah. That they don't know exactly, not even what NFTs are. So invest your coin with someone who knows about this. And the first thing that you need to understand is that probably the tax that you're going to pay for NFT is not going to be treated the same as cryptocurrencies, because you are not trading, you are selling art. It's like selling cakes on the street. So just be sure to get a good advice. This is so important, because I basically start again on January, and I can see I have started the conversation, because it's something that worries me a lot. But I can see how this at the end of the year, when people have to make the declaration, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, how I'm gonna do this?" It's very important. People understand this. That taxes is very important. Yeah, that's it. Taxes, your budget, patient, focus on community, and collaborate with the people that you think are gonna, that you like, and that they're up to do it. And because it's a community. That's the way that we build up a community, working with each other.
Awesome. Twerky, it's time for the quick fire round. Are you ready? It's
Oh God,
quick fire round with getting to know Twerky.
Oh God, I was not ready, but go for it.
You are ready. It's going to basically be 10 questions. You got to answer the first thing that comes to your mind, and going to ask you some stuff on NFTs, but also like a few more personal questions, so that our listeners and viewers can get to know the real you. So, what is your single favorite NFT that you own, or piece of art that you've created?
I own a copy of a special edition of the Neon Cat, and that's very special to me.
That's awesome. And what's your favorite piece of art that you've created?
The one with Pranksy, for sure.
Awesome. Where do you see the world of NFTs in the next 5 years?
Fully integrated, mainly in video games. I can see the the gamers adapting NFTs better than any other person, and with utility and way more eco-friendly.
Where do you see yourself in the NFT space in the next 5 years?
Hopefully around. Everything changes so fast that at this point you never know. But for sure, I'm always gonna keep an eye on it, because this changed my life.
If you could time travel, what year would you go to?
Last year. When I knew about NFTs, and put my full attention to it, just to be sure that I will be more prepared whenever Twerky will come up.
Who's your hero?
My husband.
Oh, Does he know that?
Yeah, I mean, probably he's gonna hear it and he's gonna be surprised, but he's my rock. Like, I feel like I would be in a very dark side right now in the NFT world if it will not be because of him. He's full support, talking, giving his opinion. A lot of decisions on the business decision I have made is thanks to him. So yeah, he's my hero. Yep.
And he sounds awesome. Like I saw on your Twitter that you posted that he made you a twerky cake for your birthday. It's adorable.
Yeah. He's so invested. At the beginning, it was only by my own, in this NFT, and I was like, maybe it's just a passion for myself. But once he got in, he understood about it. He was, oh my god, this is amazing.
How would your friends describe you?
Who so funny, loud.
Twerky.
I'm twerking. I would say, I'm a Latin guy, so not living in a Latin world. So definitely very different to people around, but definitely funny, loud. I try, and I say try because I'm not sure how good, how, or if I fail or not, but I try to be there with the people that I know they're going to be there, right? So not a lot of friends, but the ones that I have, I love them with all my heart. So
What's your biggest pet peeve?
say it again, please.
Pet peeve, like what's something that just really annoys you?
Fakeness and toxic positivity. Lately, toxic positivity.
What do you mean by that? Toxic positivity.
People that it was just like it's kind of like just giving this impression that everything is okay, and at some point with this too much positivity kind of overshadow the truth that is that sometimes it's not everything okay, right? That sometimes it's okay to experience and say, okay, today I really fucking day, like I hate it today, but not coming you with your positivity and trying to make my feelings or my experience less, because I do think then just in a circle where we're lying to each other, and I don't like that.
Totally. It's like that Instagram filtered life.
Yes. The way that I see it, my twerk is I made them to people to have a good time, right? But I'm always honest with my collectors and my friends and tell them, hey, I have a fuck day today. I hate it today. Like I don't know what to do and everything. And I think there's something very powerful when you are so honest with yourself, no matter if it's not always happy. So
It's real, and like
yeah,
people relate to people who are real.
that's the thing. In blockchain, we have to have it in mind. It's everything ran by computers. There's no human on it. It's our responsibility to make NFTs more human somehow. And it's not just being happy and everything, but show who we really are. So
Totally. As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be president. I
President.
don't know what I'm
Twerky for
thinking.
president.
Imagine that. No way, Jose. No, the more I think about it, I was like, thank God I didn't go into that path. But yeah, I would
Yeah,
say that I wanted to
perfect.
be a president. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I suppose you want to do good for people, like
I, I
fun, give them fun in their lives.
I think from where I'm come from and everything, I always saw a lot of injustice based mainly on skin color, right? So I always felt like probably people need to see someone like me. And at that time, I knew I was gay too. So I was like, maybe it was good to be one of the first gay presidents around. Um, so that was something that I kind of have the idea even when I was a teenager. Then something happened, I guess. I don't know.
You became a really successful NFT artist,
Thank
which is a
you.
pretty good route, in my opinion. Okay, if you came with a warning label, what would it say?
Oh, wait, that's a good one. Damn. My
It's all
warning
right.
label would be easily annoyed and
Easily annoyed.
fragile. And
Oh,
fragile at the same time. I'm a millennial, right? So we're millennials. So we know each other. I think that would be probably the label, the warning one, millennial, which is a good thing, but you also have to be careful. So
I think mine would be like stand back when hangry. Like I'm like a
oh,
different person when I'm hungry.
same. Let me record it. Yes, I think it will be that too. Like
Yeah.
being, I when I
Stand
get
back,
hungry.
hangry millennial.
Yes. Oh, yes. Don't feed the millennial.
Or that, yeah, after
Yeah.
lockdown, especially. Okay, last question. What is your life motto?
Stay true to yourself and be kind with other people. And most importantly, do not be bougie. I hate that. I don't like that. I think
Bougie.
this. Fuji, yeah, I mean, it's this feeling of superiority out of, I don't know, whatever you are or whatever you do as an artist. I don't like that, and that's probably one of the reasons why I like NFT art, because NFT art is based on blockchain, and blockchain was made to make everyone equal and that everyone has a chance, right? So to me, it's very important that everyone the same as me have opportunity to put their work, and that people like it or express their feeling or interact with it, no matter where you're from, how you come from, how much years in art you have. It's just, you have to be kind with people, and people need to have the right to express themselves. That's the most important thing for me. So, you know,
It's a good motto. Good motto to live by.
do you know MIA, the
Yeah,
singer?
the
Yes.
singer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's probably her vision. I recently watched her documentary
I'm
about,
told that's meant to be amazing.
yes, her background about, coming as a refugee to Europe and all her stuff, that then she got denied the visa to America, same as me. So I kind of was like, this is like, if I have to align with someone in, life and everything, it's MIA. And that you have to give visibility to everyone, no matter where they come from. And yeah, that's a lot of, and like, creativity doesn't have borders. It should not be the same in the NFT world. We should not take what it has been built in the current art industry and take it to the NFT art. And I think we still have a stage where we can make that difference, because it's not about the technology that makes a difference, but us as a people. That's why I like platforms. I support fully platforms like OpenSea and Rarible, that they don't have a filter of who can put stuff in or not. So yeah. I took it very
Twerky,
political. Sorry.
Twerky, this has been awesome. Like, I really enjoyed this conversation, and I can't wait to have you again on the show in future. Thank you. And again, to listeners and viewers, if you want to get a hold of your own piece of Twerky art, a collaboration between Twerky and NFTeaseMe, it's going to be up on Rarible and OpenSea. We're going to have the links in our socials as well. But if you want to be a part of Twerky's career in time and podcast history, take a look at it. Thank you so much, Twerky.
Thank you so much, Mikey. It was a really pleasure. Thank you so much.
That is it for this week. If you loved this episode and found it interesting, then tell your mates and give it a like or a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. You can also get involved with the community on socials, and don't forget to hashtag NFTeaseMe.